Now, an article in today's Daily Telegraph caught my eye today, reporting that 34% of Australian workers are prepared to take a pay cut if it means they can work from home.
Yeah, the survey found only 46% of people now work fully on site, but 2/3 of people said they wanted to be able to work remotely at least part of the week, and as you said, would be willing to take a pay cut to do it. So you get these trade-offs, right? And incidentally, women were far more inclined to want to
which you can
be willing to do
understand.
it. They're typically more responsible for looking after kids, etc., etc. The other factor that was mentioned was people just hate the commute. And even a city like Sydney, where we are, I can understand that. I remember when I first moved to Sydney, I felt like my life was draining away as I sat in a car park that had been advertised as a highway. The downside is people are concerned about missing out on promotional opportunities and missing out on job advancement and mentoring because they're not in the office where a lot of that social interaction, the water cooler discussions happen. So there's trade-offs, but it is interesting. People would be willing to take a pay cut if I can work
I'm
from
actually
home.
floored by that. I'm really, really floored that in the cost of living crisis, people are willing to take a pay cut to work from home. Look, I understand why people want to work from home. I understand the more flexible hours. But if you are a 20-something who has just graduated from university and you're in your first job, sorry, go into the office and do some work. It is unacceptable to be sitting at home in bed in your pyjamas on your laptop doing work at midday. I just think it's terrible. And also, I don't believe it's good for productivity. And I also think that you can't foster, if you're a boss, you cannot foster an environment when you've got half of your staff who are working from home. You don't know what they're doing. They could be doing anything. And I just think that you need to be in an office to boost morale and to be able to get the team going.
I think you make a good point about younger people because, you know, you leave school and then you go to work and all of a sudden you're not being model-collared by your parents, but there's a boss who expects certain productivity. So you learn work ethic in the workplace.
You do learn work ethic.
So I think for younger people particularly, it's very important. And then it really determines on someone's discipline, someone's work habits as to whether they're effective from home.
But it also puts a lot of strain on an employer to have these work from home entitlement. It puts a lot of pressure.
It reduces overheads for employers.
It does reduce overheads for them, but it also puts a lot of burden in there because even in that article, it said that if employers wanted workers back in the office, they may wish to consider incentives to motivate their staff. Well, since when do you need incentives to go and work?
Well, since COVID. COVID changed everyone's expectations.
It's just the way that it is. You go to work, unless you've inherited millions of dollars, you're living a great life, go to work.
Well, the other thing we've got a labour shortage, right? So right now the worker has all the power. I want this, I want this, I want this, or I'm not interested in the job, and employers are desperate for workers. So right now the power is with the worker who says, I want to work from home. If you want me to come to the office, I want these incentives.
Even at a pay cut?
Well, I wouldn't take it.
It's unbelievable. Anyways.
I'm trying to afford groceries. Hey,